Good evening, my friends. Good evening, my friends. I hope I am audible and visible. I am audible and visible. My friends, I have not talked to you for last 7 days. 7 days. Yes, I am audible. I have not talked to you for 7 days. And by this time, there are few most important events are there. In our parliamentary process, the demolition of the old criminal justice system, the demolition of old criminal justice system, which is the core of the constitution of any country. Actually, the criminal justice system which we are following even after the partition, transfer and partition of India, rather partition and transfer of India was made by the British about 150 years back. That old system, which was designed by the British for the British, for the interest of their colonial rule in India, we were following. And in no way that was not serving our purpose, our aspirations of the time. That have been demolished and a new system has come. That is very vital. Number two, what? Number two is our in Ajodhya. Yes, Ajodhya, the inauguration of the Valmiki International Airport. The beginning of the whole process, the course of events, which will take place in Ajodhya by the inauguration of the Ram temple on 22nd January 2024, and we open to the people on the 23rd January. Yesterday, on 30th December, while inaugurating the international airport in Ajodhya in the name of Valmiki, Prime Minister garlanded the statue of Netaji and mentioned on that very day in 1943, Netaji was in Andaman. That was an historic event. And remembering this inauguration of the Valmiki International Airport in Ajodhya is very important. Remember one thing, mentioning Netaji is one thing. Mentioning Netaji is one thing. That signifies something. In Bengal, there are so many politicians, so many scholars, so many activists. I do not know how many persons has mentioned the name yesterday, the name of Netaji, and mentioning his appearance in Port Blair. I do not know. But it is Prime Minister Modi has remembered him. And more important, more significant is mentioning the name and garlanding the statue of Netaji while inaugurating the Ajodhya airport in the name of Valmiki. This is the beginning of the course of events, which will come one after another in coming 1 month. It's very important. Mentioning the name of Netaji or inaugurating an international airport in the name of Valmiki, and also mentioning the coming inauguration of the Ram temple. The combination of these events and facts mentioning together is more important. That signifies very, very important thing. And today, yesterday I saw in some of the audiovisual media this mentioning of the name of Netaji from the lips of the Prime Minister, and garlanding the statue of Netaji, and inauguration of the international airport in the name of Valmiki. In some of the audiovisual media we have seen. And today in the morning, majority of the printed media has mentioned in the front page as a headline, inauguration of the Valmiki International Airport, but has not mentioned the fact that he has mentioned the name of and also garlanded the statue of Netaji. Not mentioned. Only I have seen in one Bengali paper in front page, that is Yuga Shankha. In no other paper I have seen. And this is called the conspiracy of silence. Conspiracy of silence in criminology is a subject, conspiracy of silence. Still today, many of the printed media houses, in audiovisual media houses, they are private. They are executing the conspiracy of silence. Few years back, when my book Netaji Theke Bhagwanji I released in Mahajati Sadhan, after that in the front page, in the cover page, there was Ajodhya temple, and on the side of that there was standing Netaji, photo of Netaji, and that after that I was insulted by many in the social media, and they were of some so-called socialist Subhasist group, some are secularist Subhasist group in the name of secularism and socialism. They were rebuking me. And in my book, there was an indication that behind the Ram Janmabhoomi temple movement, volume can be increased. Is not the volume increased? Is not the volume increased? Not increased. Is the volume increased now? Volume not increased? Is it increased now? Okay. In my volume, I indicated that behind the Ram Janmabhoomi movement there is Mahakal, Bhagavanji. And some other some other very vital events will take place in our country. And at that time, if you go to the globe, different angles, there the Arab-Israel conflict, Palestine-Israel conflict is going on, and many big powers of the world is there engaged. In South China Sea, there are the big powers around Taiwan engaged. On North Korea side, big powers are engaged. Ukraine crisis, Russia and NATO is engaged there around Ukraine. The more the big powers of the world are engaged in different fields of the world, that will enable our forces, our divine force, to act better way for the reconstruction of Bharatvarsh. Again, make it simple. The more the big powers of the world are engaged somewhere else in different corners of the world, it will be better opportunity, it will be easier for the divine forces, for the reconstruction of Bharatvarsh. Am I audible now? Is the volume increased? Now, and today I will just read a few lines from the Mahakal Kathan. Majority of the Mahakal Kathan, which are published and which are yet to be published, are in Bengali, because the records in other languages, Hindi or English, may be somewhere else in this country. I do not know. Hindi volumes I know, those could not be discovered. We just saw it, but we could not collect them. And only few pages, a little percentage of the pages are in English, original English by the Mahakal. But after this so long distance of 5 decades, 6 decades, many of the letters are eroded. It is very difficult to decipher the letters and sentences. With difficulty, some of the lines are deciphered. Maybe in some of the letters we could not decipher or wrongly decipher. Anyway, let me read a part which will be published in the 3rd volume of Mahakal Kathan. We are expecting the 2nd volume of Mahakal Kathan. That is the Mahakal Kathan to be released in 23rd January. We are expecting. Am I audible now, Bashar? Am I audible? Now I am reading. This letter, this note was to Dr. Pavitra Mohan Rai in 4th February 1963. On the headline under quotation, possibly this is a French language, Gardez la feuille, each DM. Dear Pavitra, love and blessing. Pavitra dear, you are an educated person. You possess quite fair intelligence. Master, am I audible now better? Is my headphone is not working, or the hand phone. I do not know which is working or not working. Abhijit Babu, you are audible clearly. Okay. You have had a taste of politics, revolutionary activities. You also understand something about double talking and double crossing of the puerile politics. And you were, in bracket, you might, comma, as well, comma, consider yourself to be on active list, bracket closed, a military officer, and that too in guerrilla band, trained specially for intelligence work, good, dot, 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 as such and so. I could not decipher. Few words. You know that there are rules and rules, comma, reports and reports, decisions and decisions. I think it will be decisions and decisions, acts and acts, orders and orders, laws and laws. Don't you? Good. Again, you also understand and know that there are types of rules, reports, decisions, acts, orders, and laws which might be permitted to be tailored, fabricated, altered, and or denied, if and as circumstances direct it, bracket, for which the source shall not be punished. But you, comma, also know fully well that, comma, there are rules, reports, acts, orders, and laws which cannot be permitted, those privileges which are sacrosanct under national and international laws. You know these had been on the very verge of paying the highest price which a person can give for a cause, in bracket, one's very life, dot, dot, dot. My divine mother, Jagadamba Durga, saves you to save me, in bracket. That's my belief, bracket closed. I hope you fully understand what a five-star general means. He is an autocrat, all powerful in his sphere and range of activities, with all sanctions and powers of the government behind him, in bracket, to back him to the hilt. He is subject to none. Tathagata Chatterjee Netaji, my mystery will be solved. None. And not even the defense secretary. He gets his orders from the head of the states, and only the head of the state, in his capacity of the head of the state and supreme commander in chief, can take him to task. You know all this. There are only two five-star generals in the world, one honored to the highest degree and in grace, another dismissed and in disgrace. General Mack was a five-star general. Remember this, like an emperor. He was absolute. His name has become synonymous with war. He was supreme commander with all civil, military, and judicial powers concentrated in him. You can fully understand and comprehend what his reports to his only superior means. You can well imagine what highest degree of academical and statecraft and qualities in leadership loyalty, obedience, in bracket to orders, fanatical, faith, and integrity a person must have and prove to be invested with the rank of five-star general. Mac had, and I honestly declare, he has all those qualities, all this and more, and so he rose to the pinnacle, and as I have told you, his name has become synonymous with the word war. That is, General MacArthur means war. Before the date of Jaff's surrender for 10 months before this date, Jaff had been constantly trying and seeking for peace and surrender terms. Every general, every diplomat, the Pentagon, the Secretary of War, Secretary of State, and the President Supreme Commander-in-Chief, the British generals, ambassadors, and the Supreme Commander-in-Chief CNC know it. Jaff was frantically trying to get and have some sort of peace and surrender terms to lay down her arms. Some high generals and ambassadors reported and sent dispatch 7 to 9 months before that fateful date. Japan is defeated for all practical purposes, but Jap government feelers remain unresponded. Then without the last warning, without anyone knowing about why, what for, or it, two successive A means atom bombs, were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. To everyone with the knowledge of Jap's situation, without reason and rhyme, the whole world, including the perpetrators of the gunless crime of all crimes against humanity, trembled. Whole Nippon shuddered, died. You know the aftermath. Time passed on. Then the whole world sat up, startled with the news of five-star General MacArthur's dismissal and divestation from and of his position and all authorities and grace by his superior commander-in-chief. The president, everyone rubbed his eyes, everyone asked everyone, why, what for? No one knew the real cause. Everyone remained guessing. The dismissal order was simple enough. You are recalled and relieved forthwith for failing to carry out orders. A five-star general and such a ignoble end. A five-star general and such a ignoble end. He was not dismissed when he had to accept defeat and retreat from field war theater. I think possibly it is Philippines War Theater, maybe HIL. He was not dismissed during the war. He was not dismissed for any lapse anywhere. And all of a sudden, after the Jap capitulation, the Supreme overall commander, five-star General MacArthur, had to report to his only superior with all possible details a final report formally. Also, he had to send a formal official report to the British counterpart, though of lesser, Prince Louis, the gist of which of the formal report was, under quote, the Subhash Chandra Bose had escaped again. This file we have seen in the PMO. This file we have seen in the PMO. And this narrative is completely from a different angle, from the angle of Mahakal. That is our PM of India. The Prince Louis, this much was sufficient. But to his master, Mac had to report in detail. Do you understand the weight and force of this report? The mighty Himalayas can be moved and for proved false, but not that report of all reports of five-star general Mac to his commander-in-chief. Such reports are incontrovertible. They have to be, because that is a report from a supreme authority to his superior. He is to see to it that his reports be 100% correct, on which depends his everything, position, honor, and even life. There was absolutely no necessity of those two hellish ABS. I do not know what is ABS, but it was dropped. Oh, atom bombs, I think. Oh, ABS, atom bombs. ABS. You know, those strategy got Singapore, the much vaunted largest and biggest impregnable base in the world, as per British official quotation. Then come the three provinces of India proper, conquered, Allied high command, more particularly the UK, became extremely jittery. The whole country was seething. They became panic stricken with the I do not know what is of the certainly, I think the certainty of the whole country, including the forces, shall rise in revolt the moment. Come down to the plains. There was absolutely no time to lose. Every moment was precious and vital. Every day, underquote, was giving clarion call, I am coming, I have come, I shall reach Delhi in no time. Only we get down to the plains. Hold on, Mahatma Ji, hold on. Oh, he had to be stopped, come what may, because he shall not give any quarter to the alien forces, nationalities. He must be stopped. It was UK which forced the hands of true men. Nagasaki and Hiroshima were the only two ports of disembarkation. Everything came to a shuddering stop. To get at one single man at all costs, the pre-arrangements and precautions against him for every possible move lay that single man were foolproof. The League was literally riddled with their men. The forces, his forces, were packed with their hand-picked men, posing and taken as most trusted. Mac had this most imperative direction, and he was 100% sure of his cards. But Mac, good straight Mac, counted without his lost. He, with his vast EC and British ally, pitted all his cunnings with the brains of a mere fakir, a fanatic of his only god, his motherland. Mac had to report Subhas has escaped again. He has beaten his own game. Every single inch was combed. Every single inch was combed. He was seen even 4 to 5 days after the crash. He was seen even 4 to 5 days after the crash. This is in the Transfer of Power Volume 6 also. With some other persons, he was seen on the roads. He was seen in the restaurants, taking refreshment and smoking by the CA, USA men, by the British staff, and also by the others. Even the same plane was seen taking off on the another day. The Jap general, who was reported dead in the crash, had signed the peace treaty. All this and more were reported to the State Department and the President. The curtain dropped. কান টানলে মাথার, 2 আর 2 যোগ করলে 4 হয়. Jap government became a suspect of ever and rightly too. At the time, Mac himself, in bracket, for several years, saw to it that Jap became America. He wanted the completion of his work, completion of his work. But no one outside knows why he was discouraged. Anyway, where could that dead man move self? Where could he stay? Where all the powers, cunning writers and the endeavors could not get him? I cannot understand. There was but only one place at that time, and still is, exacting another 2. The very same powers are now standing astride over India, and there is another in a friend's guise. So you, for anyone, for the matter of fact, need to suggest that if the really true date is found out anywhere, he shall be worshipped and will be sung. Just tell me frankly, if anyone thinks so or says so, then what shall you and your good wife think of those persons? Does this simple point need more elucidation? Let them tell me why Dr. Mukherjee was done away with, and why. Everyone knows it, and he was a signatory, and it was only for his supporting that Jane could get 2 very big things done entirely in this Jane's favor. Then Dr. M openly threatened to undo the wrongs, and he challenged Jane, dare stopping him, and the price he paid. Why the so-called vocal savior of Bengal gulped this murder down? Why these valiants of Bengal have not understood New Delhi and Allahabad and thrown them in the Ganges and gained the Bhalla? Why they have kept quiet, the fools of Mother Bengal. Few words I could not understand. When the dead could see through the game, is it not? Is not it? You tell me, Pavitro, can any person believe who is not USA, UK, JNs? Yes, can live scot-free in this free world? Tell me, here and now, shall your Mother Bengal, Janani Janmabhumi, yes, ever be of USA, UK, and of JN? Can he? Can you, your good wife, even think that S is capable of being such a turncoat? Has he come down on this earth of Mother Bengal to be this? Has he sacrificed his whole life to this end? I think it is quite correct to state that not a single person has had been persecuted, tortured, and penalized, body, mind, and soul by the Britisher as they did your dead man. They were terribly afraid even to contain him in India. Do you, in all honesty, think that these four shall or can become bosom friends? The end being quick, it is as you declare. The Bengal of today has found its lost son. If the Bengalis believe that he is he, and as they are crying themselves hoarse and declaring him to be, then I, as a plain man with no brain, say this: there is absolutely no sense in arranging sabhas and meetings and splitting your throat and also sending propagator from ashram. I say you are 100% true. Please reunite as before with his family members and unite him with his wife and son turned danger. কি একটা understand? Because these Bengalis and his family members, after the death of the elder, have declared them to be true. Say, do this quick and have prestol. Be you all happy and suck your thumbs and dance with sheer joyous abandon. There will be Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Though of India, out India, why all these buildings up over years? Why first sending out Procharoks and then recalling them with a disclaimer after the main purpose of Procharoks has been served? Why all these Shobhas, committees, etc. over the year? Why declaring contra? All these factors point to only one conclusion. It is the building who are pulling the strings have not yet considered the building of fully adequate. That is why they have not yet given the go signal. And so it is still required that the baboons should go on hollering and till the time opportune. Does your dead man require all this build-up? Does he require sending out and recalling propagators? Does he need all these shobhas, committees, lectures, discussions for and against for his establishment? Does he need to build a following? Is this the ittefaq, itmad, kurbani? Was it? And is it your real dead man's manner of work. Can you understand? Who is his target? What is meaning? He is rebuking, very much angry and anxious about the Solmari establishment and the activities of Balak Brahmachari. Very much anxious, very much anxious. He is smelling the conspiracies in these activities. Activities around Balak Brahmachari and the Solmari Ashram. It's clearly told. These are the traps to trap him, traps to unmask him, to break his security belts, his security circles, to breach his security circles. All these are government, Nehru, Indira government funded, government of India funded, to damage his security circles, to endanger his existence, presence in this Bharatvarsh. Clearly rebuking this marriage story. Clear? And in some other letters, some other records, Mahakal Kathan, as recorded by the disciples, there it is clear. When he is telling in Bengali, he is very angry about this marriage story. Very angry about the Solmari activities. Very angry about the activities of the Balak Brahmachari. Because all these activities is to trace the location or presence of Bhagavanji in Bharatvarsh, to damage his security circles. Ashwar Das, RIN, Royal Indian Navy mutiny. Sushanto, good evening, sir. With your Happy New Year. No, I am not very happy with this English Happy New Year's. I will not respond. Shubhendu Sengupta, sir, it is my earnest request, please consider publishing a consolidated volume of 3-part selected portions of Mahakal Kathan. Their predictions of international and national events can be inferred, correlated in the English along with the Greek history. The events of Dr. Chatterjee can be considered. Joy Hind, Tilakanta Chatterjee, Netaji, mystery will be solved. I do not know. Please, the volume be increased. Okay. I'm stopping here now today. What is the time now? Oh, 45 minutes. Okay, let me stop here today. Thank you. Good night.